Hi guys, I'm Mr. P from the Geeky Guys,
And I'm Dave, I'm here as well.
and we just thought we'd have a quick 5 minutes and talk about what's happened this year, geeky wise.
A little bit of a Christmas end of year,
Yeah.
wrap it all up, forgive the pun.
Well, actually, we're going to unwrap it all now.
Indeed.
As we talk about it.
As we will tomorrow.
Yes. So, first of all, let's talk about movies.
Indeed,
this year. Some franchises have had quite a few big movies, geeky wise, and some have had not so many. Let's talk DC first. So,
yeah, why not?
We've had Wonder Woman.
We did,
That
was very good.
The big DC films this year. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think most people were. We wondered what it was going to be like, didn't we? And it came out really well. The story, the pacing, all the cast were brilliant, and it set it up nicely for Justice League.
Yes. Justice League, of course, did get some criticism.
It did, and it didn't do as well as they were hoping. It was a little bit short.
I can see why.
Yeah.
It wasn't as strong as it could have been, and I think
No.
we've talked about this earlier anyway. You suggested maybe it was because we'd not had, if we'd have had all the solo films first to build the characters up,
Yeah.
then
exactly.
bring them together,
Then the
might have been
team up.
better. Perhaps that's part of it.
I think so, yeah.
There are characters in there that people just didn't really know, and yet there's not a lot of time in that short space to really get to know them
to
properly.
develop it. No, it just all thrown together pretty quickly, wasn't it?
It seemed like it, and I think their original plan to split it into two films, they changed that after Batman
did.
Superman.
Yeah.
And I think it shows that they quickly tried to change that and make it different. But as a standalone film,
Yeah, but it's
fun.
okay.
It was okay. I liked it.
And as we said earlier, we'd buy it, and it's
Yeah.
one you can add to the collection, so that's a compliment all on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, Superman making an appearance in there, which I was hoping for.
Yeah,
I
we
think
were really
originally
worried
we
about
were a
that,
little
weren't
bit
we?
concerned that it might be that when they did Justice League Part 1 and 2,
Yeah,
he
that's
wouldn't
right.
really be in one much. But now they've made it a standalone film.
Yeah, I think we need, like I think we've said previously, we need another solo Superman and another solo Batman before we probably go into Justice League Part 2, and I think they're going to do that by the sounds of it, aren't they?
Well, they're certainly going to do the Batman. And we're
the
going
Batman.
to get Flash, and we're going to get Aquaman film potentially. We're getting a Cyborg potentially.
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite good. We need those, I think.
Yeah, let's just hope that Ben Affleck carries on in the role as well, because it's too early to hang the cape up. He's only just started.
I don't think he will. I
No,
think he's kind of.
He's a director now, isn't he?
But it's a shame.
It is. He's
I'd
been
like
good.
to explore his Batman a little bit more. Maybe even go back to find out what happened with Robin. Cause clearly,
Yeah, that's a bit messy, that side of it, isn't it? And he did get his Batman and his Bruce Wayne right, which is a rare thing, so it would be a bit of a shame, but whatever happens, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And of course, there's not been a lot more really.
No.
DC wise.
DC wise, no.
We've had Wonder
hasn't.
Woman. We've had
Justice League.
There's been nothing else really big that's jumped out.
Yeah, it's not been a lot, and it's been similar with Marvel as well. We've only had Thor Ragnarok,
They're
haven't
obviously
we?
building up towards Infinity Wars.
Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2, yeah.
Thor, fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good, wasn't it? Funny.
Humour, sort of Guardian of the Galaxy-esque humour in it, which was quite nice.
And another team-up film as well, wasn't it? But they executed it well. Got to say, it was very, very good. We enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and we liked Benedict Cumberbatch's guest appearance, of course, Doctor Strange.
Hey, Doctor Strange, yeah, it was nice to see him again. Again, that was a good solo film.
Yes.
And I think they've developed that character really nicely and inserted him in well, so I think he can pop up in these films and it will just work, because he's just seems like an established character that's been around a while, doesn't he?
Yeah. And there was a few times where Loki actually behaved himself as well.
Yeah.
Which is strange, because it's very few and far between.
Don't see that often, but
no.
Oh, it's good.
No, we've enjoyed the movies this year. There's not, like I said, not been a massive barrage of them, but there's been a slow, steady trickle of movies that have been quite good throughout the year.
And they're being developed over the next 3 or 4 years as well. There's a big plan, isn't there, in both DC's universe and Marvel's universe for releasing all these films and solo films and more team-up films coming up.
TV shows then.
Yeah, we should talk about TV shows.
We should talk about TV. It's been quite big for TV this year. from a geeky point of view.
More so than movies, probably.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll go with. Let's go with. I'll be honest. Marvel. I've not really watched that much Marvel. What will I call it? Proper TV, as in normal TV.
Yeah.
The streaming stuff we'll come to in a minute, but like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example.
Yeah.
I've kind of that's dropped off my radar.
We've
a little
both
bit
fallen away from watching
so that's
that.
something I need to catch up with.
It's not to say it's really bad, but it's just one that's fallen by the wayside,
Yeah.
and we've watched other shows, haven't we? But we'll get back to it.
The streaming stuff on Netflix, so
Yeah.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Defenders, and of course now, what's going out my head?
Defenders, Punisher. Yeah, Punisher's just come out. It's got that to look at.
Yeah, that's obviously they're really good. They're absolutely fantastic. The this year we had the team up, the Defenders, Iron Fist and Defenders, which was really good. And obviously we've got Punisher now. I've got to catch up.
Got to
with
get into
Punisher.
that. Yeah, I've still got to catch up with Defenders and Iron Fist. I've watched Daredevil.
Yeah.
I've just started Jessica Jones, so I'll get in there. I'll catch up with you.
You're just at the evil David Tennant stage.
Yes,
he was good.
He's very good in that, isn't he? Cold and calculated, still quite witty. Like I think you mentioned earlier, it's to me it's a little bit like an evil doctor. The way you'd imagine the evil doctor would be.
Yeah, if his doctor was evil, like the Master, that's how you would imagine
That's
him
how
to
we
be.
play it.
That's good. I like it. Yeah, that was really good. So those shows, fantastic. I'll keep up with those, catch up with those.
Yeah, we need to, don't we?
DC TV, which I think I have to say it's probably been the highlight of the year for me watching those shows.
Absolutely.
They've just got stronger and stronger as the series have gone on.
Yeah.
Arrow,
Flash.
when it gets to a point in Arrow where it kind of story-wise gets a little bit weaker, or it's a bit like you've got to kind of come on.
There's a few filler episodes sometimes, isn't there?
It then does something like, wow, oh dear.
As a big event, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
that sparks it again for another few episodes or a series, doesn't it?
We're on mid-series break
We are.
with all of these shows. And it's worth noting, I think, that we said earlier when we were talking, all the cliffhangers are really good.
Yeah.
Let's a bit controversial. I'm going to say what my order of cliffhangers are.
Right.
Worst to best.
Right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
I'm going to pull rank and we'll talk about it in that order.
Yeah. Okay. Why not?
So for me, the worst one as the cliffhanger was Legends.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
We'll come
probably.
to our Twitter poll later, but because for me it wasn't a massive, great big thing. We know that there's been some big evil happening in the background.
With that malice going on in the background,
which is coming up. But then, instead of some great big revelation, you got Constantine just stood in the
turns
cargo
up
bay
and says,
saying,
"I help, love."
"All right, love, you seem to be having a bit of trouble,"
Yeah.
which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And from watching Constantine, it's going to be interesting that he's going to bring that aspect into Legends, and they're going to be dealing with some more etheric stuff maybe now, instead of the usual metas and problems across time. They're now going to have a kind of demonic entity to deal with, so that's going to be quite interesting. He's the go-to guy for that, so
Yes,
it's going to work.
it's going to be good to see.
And it'll
more
be funny.
Constantine back in the
It'll be
DC
funny.
TV universe. But
That's going to be good.
then I'm going to say Arrow.
Then Arrow. Yeah.
Just because he's been there before. We've obviously got this point where he's in trouble with the FBI. They suspect it's the Arrow. And
it's been indicted, isn't he, the Green Arrow?
He's could have culled the team before and then rebuilt it.
Rebuilt
so it's
a
not
new
a
one.
massive thing.
No.
Although it was kind of a, they all left. Oh.
It was the usual Arrow thing of you had the big happy moment of him and Felicity finally tied the knot a little bit unconventionally, but they still officially tied the knot, and then oh dear, the whole team's gone, he's on his own again. So it's kind of the usual Arrow, but I think it'll be still interesting going forward to see how he copes with it and what happens going forward in terms of, does he start going out on his own, or just him and Diggle again?
Yeah.
Or does he start saying, right, I'm not going to do that, I need a new team and find some new people? So it'll be interesting to see which direction they go.
I honestly don't know. I think what I'd like to see for this series, because I didn't, when they brought in the other team, this new team, it was okay.
Yeah.
But I just never really It never really. I think that's what I said about Up and Down this last year. To me, it didn't completely work.
You don't quite root for them, do you, as much as you have other people in the past that have been on the show.
So I think keep the team a bit smaller going forward for me. And so Curtis obviously might still help out, even though he's disappeared. But okay, next in line. Well, I think you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Flash.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So Flash, obviously Barry is he's just been arrested.
He's arrested, isn't he? He's going
murder.
to jail.
And he didn't run because he knew he had to face it. But that's interesting.
DeVoe's set him up there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's the only one who knows who DeVoe is now. No, we didn't. That was a big surprise, wasn't it?
DeVoe knows him also. And he's almost integrated himself into the group.
Yeah, he has.
So that's interesting to see how they cope with that.
You've got the feeling that there's a big master plan going forward. He's planned further forward than this, hasn't he?
Step one, isn't it?
He's the mastermind after all, isn't he?
Yes.
I'm going to take Cisco's job here and start giving the names. He's the mastermind now that's going to be giving them a lot of problems, I think. And Barry's going to have to get out of prison, but do it in the right way.
Yeah.
Prove his innocence. He's not just going to phase through the walls and escape. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so, no.
And I don't think it'll be a breakout with the team rescuing him. I think he will have to go through by the book.
Yeah,
I think so.
And then finally, of course, my best cliffhanger has to be Supergirl.
Yeah.
I love that fight sequence. Very Superman 2.
It was.
I'm sure at one point, did they throw a Mantle cover as well? I seem to remember at one point.
They did at one point during this fight scene, yeah.
So, very, I mean, she was beat to a pulp.
Yeah,
much.
She was bleeding. I mean, it's very rare you see a Kryptonian bleeding. But she was in a bad way.
Pretty much on death's door. So we'll see what happens as the series progresses. It's a nice way, I think, potentially bringing Superman in for a guest slot.
Yeah.
He did at the beginning of the last series.
And then he's kind of disappeared to Metropolis again, hasn't he?
But I think it's a very, very unfamily-like of him not to come and give her a hand.
It is.
I think.
Same the Cousins, he just kind of pops in once a year, doesn't he? And sorry, I missed all that trouble, but I'm here now.
But that'd be nice to see him probably pop back in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it during sort of the past season up until now is kind of her exploring the human side and becoming a reporter and trying to come to terms with Catco without Cat Grant.
And obviously the loss of Mon-El.
The loss of Mon-El. He's got him back, and then straight away she's lost him again. There seems to be a lot of gaining and losing in a lot of these shows, but she's lost him, so she's had to come to terms with that, and now it's all Supergirl again, and Supergirl's got to pull her pants up and save the day, hasn't she? But she's up against odds that she's not
why
really
Supergirl
faced.
would have her pants down.
No, we probably best not explore that.
So that cliffhanger for me, fantastic.
Yeah,
can't wait to see the new one, and they're coming back quite quickly, aren't they? Is it?
Yeah, it's like early next year, isn't it? January, probably towards the end of January.
So that's going to be quite good. Can't wait for that.
All bubbling along nicely, aren't they?
We also this year had Star Trek Discovery.
We did.
We spoke about it before at length, and we've had time to reflect and look back. Well, I think we both agree that it's bloody awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. We've got used to it.
I think you have to take it separately to everything else.
You do.
And you just kind of grin and nod at the references that they put in, the little things here and there. But I like it as a series. It's
They've
good.
kind of have managed somehow to mix traditional Star Trek with J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, but not make it too much like the Abrams one that it puts all the core fans off. There's still enough of the original series, TNG, Voyager, little nods every here and there that takes you back to the original, to the tried and trusted and known Star Trek, and some of the Gene Roddenberry stuff they've tried to port into it in little bits along the way.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite good. They've got the mix just about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's what we've found after about the 4th or 5th episode. I think I said to you in the car at one point, it's when they do the away mission. You go, right, now it's Star Trek. Now it's started to get into something more familiar.
I was very concerned that the serialization of it was going to be wrong.
It wouldn't work.
No end to an episode. They don't come in, solve a problem, and then leave.
Still
ongoing. And actually, it kind of worked for what they've done and the way they've written it. That works.
Yeah, they've got it right in that kind of template, haven't they? They've got it spot on. It didn't feel wrong.
a
seemed
lot
alright.
of the TV shows at the moment that we watch, such as the Marvel stuff on Netflix,
Mm.
that, although it does have a kind of end to each episode, there is something then that gives you something for the next
There's
one.
a continuation,
bit of a
isn't there?
that continues throughout, and I think that's quite common in a lot of things at the minute.
Yeah, it does seem to be. There's not many shows now where it's one story and it gets dealt with, and then next week it's something completely different. It's very rare that you have that now, isn't it? The only one you sometimes have that is Supernatural, another CW show, where they will kind of have something going on in the background, but they can go off and completely ignore all that and do something different for an episode.
Yeah.
Like something like a Trickster episode or something like that, and suddenly Sam and Dean are in a TV show, and everything in the outside world's forgotten for an hour, and they go and do that, and then the next week they're back to the series arc again. So they can kind of flip in and out quite well, and that works well in that series.
Yes. And while we're talking about it, I've just caught up with the end of the last series.
You have series 12.
So really good. Now I know that the next series has not started. It's not officially been on in the UK.
Not
yet.
on terrestrial TV. No.
I know it's available online if people look in the right place.
Yeah.
You've had a quick look, I think, at a couple episodes.
Yeah, I've had a look at first bit of season 13. And it's good.
It's good.
I can
But
definitely
don't give any
report it's
spoilers
good.
away, Dave, because I've not watched it yet.
And nobody else will have watched it probably.
But no, yeah, I really liked the way that ended. Once again, they've kind of locked away Lucifer again in a different reality, and lost something. In fact, quite a lot, and gained a
surrogate son.
Yeah,
Nephilim surrogate
son. So that's kind of. I'm quite looking forward to see what happens next.
Yeah, that's going to develop very interestingly, and you haven't got Crowley doing stuff in the background now either, have you?
No.
So somebody's going to be jumping into his shoes, aren't they? Going forward, you would think.
It's interesting how that show has actually gone on for quite a long time. You know, like you said, you're into like its 13th year.
Yeah.
Not forget seasons for a minute. This is years. 13 years it's been on TV.
It's a long time for a TV show.
And people talk when we talk about we talk to a lot of people about geeky stuff, and they talk about Supernatural, and they reference things from early on, and I'm like, I can't remember. It's been that long
ago
since we watched it. I can't actually remember what happened. And they're like, oh, you remember? It's like this happens, that happens. Oh, of course. And then we have to go back and rewatch the bit they were talking about.
Little snippets, and then you remember, don't you?
So yeah, that keeps going. It's got no signs of slowing down. Thank goodness. We don't want it to.
Yeah, we don't want it to go. Keep it going.
That's pretty much been this year for us in terms of what we're watching and what we think about what's been out. Convention-wise, we was at
MCon at Nottingham.
MCon earlier in the year. Which coincidentally we've just booked. If you've seen our social media, you'll know we've just booked our tickets for next year's MCon.
For MCon 2018.
For 2018.
Nottingham. We got our first photos booked as well with LeVar Burton, Denise Crosby.
Yes.
And we're going to hopefully see David Bradley and Bill Mackey as well.
Yes.
Which would be
Star
nice.
Trek and Doctor Who photos in there.
Yeah, a nice mix of Star Trek and Doctor Who, so that'll be good.
And also this year, we're not in too many conventions this year. But we went for the Love of Sci-Fi.
The Love of Sci-Fi at Manchester,
recently.
Our first one.
And that was quite good. It was a little bit busy, and I think there was
very
a few
busy.
issues that over the weekend in terms of the way organisationally, the way it was run.
Queuing wasn't done particularly well, was it? That's the key.
We're not going to dwell on it. They've looked at what's happened and what they can improve, and I think they're going to for next year.
Yeah,
so
I think it'd be
nice.
better next
year.
year.
I enjoyed it. We got to meet the Hoff.
Yeah.
And Ernie Hudson, of course.
And Zach Galligan, Billy Peltzer from Gremlins as well. And Gizmo, which was nice.
I still didn't tell him that my Gizmo was bigger than his.
Yeah, he might not have read. He might have read that all the wrong way.
He might have read that the wrong way.
So that could have been an awkward moment. But yeah, it was good meeting them three. I'm going to say we had a good day.
Our next convention task is to plan for Destination Star Trek at the end of the year.
Destination Star Trek 2018.
There'll be another one in between, I'm sure. But
obviously
we'll update where we are on the calendar on our website on Geeky Guys.
Yeah, we'll update you if we're going to London Film Comic Con or another MCon or something
at some point.
We'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Geeky wise, it's been a good year.
It has.
We've just literally today watched Star Wars.
We've
literally just got back from the cinema. Watching Star Wars.
We've just been seeing The Last Jedi, and we both really enjoyed it. I would say.
Yeah.
We were a bit worried because there was some mixed reviews.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was up there with Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, obviously it continues from Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So
pretty much
therefore there are
carries on the
certain
story.
storylines that has to continue.
Yeah.
And I think they dealt with everything quite well.
Yeah.
A few little twists throughout.
Yeah, some twists and
that we
turns,
like.
some things that were predictable, some things you didn't expect, some nice little nods to the past. It was all in there, really, wasn't it?
It was.
I'd have to say.
If you haven't seen it yet, obviously we're not going to spoil anything too
No.
much.
We're not going to say too much.
It's still pretty new, so we're not going to say anything apart from the fact we really liked it, and we'll talk about it more perhaps on
into
one of
the
our
new
early
year.
podcasts when people have had a chance to watch it. And we'll watch some of the feedback online and see
what the
they say
people
about
think. But yeah, we've got the obviously the final big thing of the year is tomorrow.
Yes.
5:30 BBC One, the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yes.
It's going to be definitely a special one this year because we have
Three
a
doctors.
Doctor, 3 doctors.
Technically.
Yeah.
That's from Stephen Moffat's mouth himself.
Yeah, so that's canon.
It's canon. So yes, they're going to introduce Jodie Whittaker
It's the 13th
as the
Doctor.
13th Doctor, along with, of course, David Bradley reprising kind of his role from An Adventure in Time and Space as the first Doctor, along with Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor.
Yeah, so it's going to be nice to see how those things... I mean, just to start off, just to see how 12 and 1 react to each other. One at the beginning of his regenerations and one towards the end. One that's just starting to have the adventures and go off and meet people and explore planets and things, and one that's done it all. So it'll be quite interesting to see how they react to each other.
Yes, we're looking forward to that, and that'll round the year off quite nicely, Geeky Wise, I think.
Yeah, it will. It certainly will.
Lots of things to look forward to next year.
Yeah,
including more podcasts.
More podcasts and a special interview.
Yes, we'll be talking to Tasman McDonough, who plays, of course, Lucy in the
sci-fi TV show Killjoys.
Yes,
so
she's going to be giving us a quick ring and saying hello, which would be nice. She seems really nice. So
yeah, she seems like a good gal.
We've not really talked much about Killjoys.
No, we haven't. We did earlier on in the year. We did a little bit. I did a podcast about The Expanse, Killjoys and Dark Matter, just a brief overview, but yeah, we do need to be talking about that a little bit more next year. We've got the obviously next 2 seasons due for Killjoys. Dark Matter's been cancelled, which is a shame, despite the big petition with the many thousands on it.
It's Firefly all over again.
It is. It's Firefly all over again. But let's hope that another network picks it up and it gets going again in the future. But we've still got Killjoys and we've still got The Expanse coming up next year.
We have, yeah. Looking forward to that.
We certainly are. So I think it's time to end and say Merry Christmas from the Geeky Guys. Happy holidays. We hope you have a good new year. And we'll catch up with you in 2018 with a lot more geeky stuff. And we shall see you later.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.